Hi everybody, welcome back to Story Time with Miss Katie. I wanted to read you a story today by one of our favorite authors and illustrators, and this story is about an animal that lives in the ocean at the beach. Sometimes when you go to the beach, you'll see this animal. All right, so this animal is looking for a new house. Let's see what that is. Here's our cover page, and our cover page shows us a picture, tells us the title, A House for Hermit Crab, and it tells us who the author and illustrator are. And today, that's Eric Carle. All right, so again, our title is A House for Hermit Crab. "Time to move," said Hermit Crab one day in January. "I've grown too big for this shell." He had felt safe and snug in his shell, so here's his shell. But now it was too snug. It was too small. Hermit Crab stepped out of his shell and onto the floor of the ocean. But it was scary out in the open sea without a shell to hide in. "What if a big fish comes along and eats me?" he thought. "I must find a new house soon." Early in February, Hermit Crab found the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside it to see how it felt. It felt just right. But it looked so, well, plain, thought Hermit Crab. So look, here's his new shell, his new home. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. "How beautiful you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to come and live on my house?" "It's so plain. It needs you." "I'll come," whispered a sea anemone. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. So look, he's decorating his shell with this sea anemone, which is almost like a flower. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly. "How handsome are you?" said Hermit Crab. "Would you be willing to decorate my house?" "I would," signaled a little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. So look, here's starfish. See the starfish? Hermit Crab is going to put one on his shell. In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. "How pretty you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you be willing to make my house more beautiful?" "I would," creaked a crusty coral. Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. Look at his shell now. He's got his coral, his sea anemone, the starfish, all decorating his shell. In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a path behind them. "How tidy and hard-working you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you be willing to come and help clean my house?" "I would," offered one of the snails. Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. So here's another animal you find in the ocean, or creature. These are snails. They have a little shell because they're little. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. "How fierce you look," said Hermit Crab. "Would you be willing to protect my house?" "I would," answered the spiky sea urchin. Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. "It's so dark here," thought Hermit Crab. "How dim it is," said the sea anemone. "How gloomy," said Starfish. "How murky," said Coral. "I can't see," said the snail. "It's like nighttime," said the sea urchin. In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish. "How bright you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you be willing to light up our house?" "I would," replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. "How sturdy you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you mind if I rearrange you?" "Not at all," answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a wall around his shell. "Now my house is perfect," cheered Hermit Crab. But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon he would have to find another bigger home, but he loved his friends. "They have been so good to me," thought Hermit Crab. "They are like a family. How could I ever leave them?" In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by. "I've outgrown my shell," she said. "Would you know of a place for me?" "I have outgrown my house too," answered Hermit Crab. "I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends." "I promise," said the little crab. The following January, Hermit Crab stepped out and the little crab moved in. "Couldn't stay in that shell forever," said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. He spied the perfect house, a big, empty shell. Well, it looked plain. Sponges, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. There are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. So friends, Hermit Crab found a new home in our story, and he decorated it with lots of different things from the ocean. The lightning fish, a starfish, the coral, a snail, the anemone. So he decorated his home, and he used the pebbles and this spiky thing. So look at that. He made his home with all his new friends. All right, friends, thanks for listening and watching how Hermit Crab got a new house. If you go to the beach, try and see if you can find some hermit crabs. All right, I'll see you next time.